Start sir.
Good afternoon, my dear friends. Well, on this sultry May afternoon, let me, on behalf of myself, Professor Amit Bhattacharya from the Department of English, University of Gorbongo, welcome you all to another of my discussions of Kamala Das's poems. Today we have chosen for discussion the poem Forest Fire by Kamala Das. This poem has been taken from Kamala Das's first volume of poetry, that is Summer in Calcutta, published in 1965. This is one of the last poems of the volume, and even though some critics have pointed out that it seems that such a poem as Forest Fire should have come at the fag end of a poet's career. In Kamala Das's case, actually, Forest Fire is, because it is taken from Summer in Calcutta, one of the enduring testaments of her poetic craft and poetic stance. Now, so far as Kamala Das's poetry is concerned, critical opinion has oscillated between two things. Number one, confessionalism and love poetry, autobiographical leanings of the poems. This has been the basic critical stance of many of Kamala Das's critics. On the other extreme, there are others, certain critics, who have tried to foreground Das's unique multivocalism. They, for example, put forward as a representative case in point Kamala Das's short poem, Someone Else's Song, which in some ways is an answer, a poetic answer to Walt Whitman's poem, The Song of Myself. Now, Kamala Das, in a life assailed by patriarchal norms and constrictions, and as a witness to social ills, political ills, and also serious lack of equity in Indian society, Kamala Das has given voice to her anger, her protest against the constrictive norms of society. Now, Forest Fire, as I.G. Ahmed has rightly pointed out, is a poem that highlights the poetic process. It becomes a kind of an essay in poetic composition. Now, for the sake of our convenience, as always, I have decided on two things. Number one, that I will take the help of one of my students who will read out relevant portions of the poem as we go along, because the poem has been divided into short and thematically coherent sections for the sake of explication. And number two, that I propose to discuss this poem in and through two interrelated but different presentations. Now, in the present discussion, I am going to start discussing the poem, and I will obviously complete the discussion in the next one. So, let us start the poem.
Sir,
Yes.
of late I have begun to feel a hunger to take in with greed, like a forest fire that consumes and with each killing gains a wilder, brighter charm, all that comes my way.
Of late, the poetic persona has started having a desire, having a hunger to take in all sorts of experiences, all sorts of sensory experiences, the data that life provides him or her with. Why? This is very significant. Kamala is a poet, so her sensibility is a poetic sensibility. And the poetic sensibility has to store up, internalize experience in order to externalize those experiences in terms of expression, in terms of poetic creation. And that process is something that gives the theme of this poem. See, of late I have begun to have a hunger to take in, to consume, to soak up. And here, she actually likens this hunger, this desire for experience, to the devouring ferocity of the forest fires. We know very recently Australia and Siberia in two different parts of the world have experienced the same devastating forest fires that devours all things that come in its way. And with each kill, with each thing devoured, the forest fire gains in ferocity and charm, in brightness. Now, if we only think of this as indicative of a person's desire for newer experiences, our interpretation will be partial. Because it is not only any individual, but a poet. So here, this desire to soak up experience is for the sake of poetic creation. And the charm, the wilder charm that she talks about is related to the enriching of the poetic sensibility through experience. This thing has been pointed out in different ways by many literatures and literary theorists. We can think about people like Whitman. We may think about, okay, let's go back. We can think about Wordsworth. We can think even about Virginia Woolf, who talks about what is the fit subject for fiction. Everything, anything and everything is fit for modern fiction. That is what she says in modern fiction. So, the first thing that is important for the creative literary artist is to take in experience and be enriched by them. And then, by brooding over them, by recollecting those emotions in tranquility, they can take those experiences internalized to such a state of immediacy that they come out in the form of spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, as Wordsworth had pointed out. So that is why the symbol of the forest fire here has to be treated not only as a personal symbol, but also as a universal symbol of poetic creation. Okay, let's go on.
Bold child in open pram, you think I only look, and you two slim lovers behind the tree, and you old man with paper in your hand and sunlight in your hair. Ellipsis points.
Okay, now three distinct human subjects have been pointed out. Bald child in an open pram or perambulator. A pair of lovers maybe behind the tree. And an old man on a park bench with newspaper in hand. They have all been seen by the eagerly devouring, experience crazy, poetic sensibility. Now here, the choice of these three human subjects is very, very significant because they represent in their own unique ways childhood, youth, and age. Thereby, they may represent humanity in all the possible guises and states. Okay, go on.
Yes, sir. My eyes leak at your like flames, my nerves consume, and when I finish with you in the pram near the tree and on the park bench, I spit out small heaps of ash, nothing else.
So the poet, eager for experience, to store up images in her spiritus mundi, personalized, customized one, she would like to leak at all these sites like flames. They would differ and only leave ashes, just like the forest fire. Now, ash is here also. The use of this word is a bit ambiguous, but we have to delve deep into Kamala Das's poetic sensibility in order to make sense of this. See, as Shakespeare in his sonnets has pointed out, that ultimately these human sights and subjects will be eternalized by the eager poet. So what will be left behind will be only the transient human subjects. But their essence that has been captured by the poetic sensibility will live on in her mind, in the poetic imagination, as S.C. Herrex has pointed out. Now here, as Anisur Rahman has also shown us, we get to see the working of the inclusive human consciousness. Okay, let's go on.
But in me the sights and smells and sounds shall type and go on and on and on.
So, in the poet's mind, in the smithy of the poet's mind, these sights and sounds will go on and on and on. Here, you see, by repeating the word on, Kamala Das is achieving a memorable effect, giving the lie to what G. Patel had pointed out regarding the quote-unquote unnecessary repetition of words by Kamala Das. Because only saying go on wouldn't have captured the unending process of sensation, their internalization, and afterwards the externalization and expression that ultimately culminates in the poetic creation. So this, in short, is, as Ahmed has pointed out, let me repeat, an essay in literary composition. Okay. In my later discussion, I will complete the discussion of the poem by pointing out a few things about the rest of the poem and also about the interpretation of the same. So, thanks for watching.